Okay, here we go. No, people voted for it.
All right, now everybody.
All right,
now
here we go.
slide
This
to
is
the
the
left.
actual gameplay.
Slide to the right.
There we go.
Okay,
here we go.
Hey guys, we're here live. Well, actually, we're not live. This is pre-recorded.
I kind of like the
We're
horses.
live right now.
We're live,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
We're live. We're doing it all in one flow. I guess is the worst though.
Yeah, that's
No
true. This is one flow. We're just gonna right now you're on stream with us, and we wanted to pre-record this, kind of show off some of
I want to see the in-game armor, man. Like he didn't even have any shoulders on.
And maybe I don't know.
I want to see some big ass fucking shoulders, some like giant two-handed
sword. Those of you guys who are
sword.
tuning in for the first time, this is our pre-alpha client. This is essentially the alpha 1 client that's getting tested, and all the bugs.
I like the
worked
scenery
out
and everything.
So, yeah, we should maybe
Scenery
go
looks nice.
gather some things. Did you guys get tools and whatnot?
Yeah, I got some tools.
Okay.
But
So where's the
let's look
combat?
for some some trees. Are there any trees around here? Do you guys see any trees that we can chop
I
down?
think there's one down over here.
So to give you guys an idea, out in the world, you're going to have raw resources. Oh, here we go. You're gonna have raw resources that essentially you can, if you have the tools available.
So
for
can you cut it down? Yeah, let's cut down the tree.
I'll grab it. Let me see. There we go. Essentially, you have the tools for these raw resources out in the world. You're going to.
Bonk.
Yeah, does it hit him?
You're sure.
I was worried there for a
Right
second.
underneath it.
Yeah, I just was safely underneath
The fuck?
log.
You're going to essentially be able to harvest different raw resources out in the world based off of the tools that you have available to you. And higher quality resources are going to require higher quality tools as well. It's also important.
I wonder if you need a tool to pick flowers.
Many of the raw gatherables out in the world have an opportunity to essentially.
I think that's pretty cool.
To grant you rare resources that you can
that's
proc,
cool.
Based off of the skill level you
pre-alpha.
have.
Yeah, it's pre-alpha right now.
Within the gathering tree, and that's always nice to have. I think I remember, playing a little bit of Star Wars Galaxies, and I really loved how they did their crafting system. I thought it was very well done. So, let's kill this dude.
There's a kitty on me.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, no, protect
So
the
this is
wood.
just like the basic combat here. I'd like to see more. I want to see more of like the animations in the combat, because like that's what I think feels like needs the most work. It is more of the animations in combat.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That's the main thing.
Oh, there's like a brawler over here. Maybe I should can like pull him. Where's my little pull skill? Don't I have a pull skill?
Yeah.
We'll wait for them to get ready.
I don't.
Where's the
see
last boss? Let's get to the last boss.
Javelin? No.
I always move them around my hotkeys, so I don't actually know where it is. Like,
it
right
is
now.
Hook
javelin.
shot.
I don't
Oh
like
shit.
order.
So it's a death grip. That's pretty easy to do. All right.
I got wrecked.
Yeah, guys,
looking a
ass
little
beat.
worse for wear.
Shouldn't be trying to steal stuff from people.
How about that?
He looks like
Fuck
he's
'em.
permanently fist pumping in death.
It's weird how they don't show like.
Try to get this tree.
So you're gonna cut down the tree? Wait, does the tree fall down and kill
Oh,
him?
there's 2 of them.
Okay,
Oh,
No,
three
there's
of
3 of
them.
them.
Okay,
Here, the tree will kill them. Oh.
that didn't happen. That's a lot of animations, man. Okay,
There we go.
okay.
Toast
That's
blend
kinda
was
cool.
beam.
I know, right?
Do note that like the particle effects are still in the works.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah,
Are you
Oh, it's
blinded by
wafering
my
better?
hollow
Yeah,
light?
what'd you guys think about that? Like all those animations? Did you guys like it or not? FX are a bit much. Well, you've got to remember that like you can turn that shit down. So like for example, he said that like spell effects have like a modifier or like a slider. So you can just turn down the spell effects.
Just so you guys
You're
know,
too divine for us.
art is always going through different iterations and different passes. I personally think it looks great for pre-alpha, but
Yeah.
it'll definitely get some love.
Okay.
These are kind of trash
That's
mobs.
nice.
I think we're all level 10, so we're much higher than them.
Yeah, I would
we're
assume
in a
so.
party. Yay!
We're not in a party. I figured we should all be friends.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay,
idea.
that's real
that's
cute.
A good idea too.
So this
So I
is
can
like
see
a
your help and
dungeon.
heal you.
Like
Let-
McConnell, how do you feel about like outdoor dungeons? Because I feel like people are just gonna like overwhelm them if they have like too many people. Do you think this is gonna like work?
Yeah, it should be fine. Works in ESO just fine.
It's not? Oh, okay. It's not a dungeon? Well, I thought they started and they said it was going to be a dungeon. Okay, I guess not. Well, then never mind.
Let's see if we can find any more. Or, you
Well,
know what,
wait a
actually,
minute,
there's
dude.
like a little
Yeah.
dungeon here, isn't there? Where's the dungeon?
WoW
Oh,
technically
no.
had an outdoor dungeon, right? In Gentha Lore or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, it
When
did.
when you had to make the goddamn mallet.
Yeah, and you had to go all the way up to the top. That was a huge pain in the dick, man. I remember we did that, and that was such a pain in the ass. I hated that. There was that, and then there were also like a few other areas that were like basically, it's like you could go into dead mines, and it was like half of it was an outdoor dungeon too, with like all of the miners and that kind of shit. I like that personally. I like kind of having a little bit of the of like the outdoor dungeons versus the inside dungeons. I do.
Oh yeah,
worry.
Tyr's Hand.
There you go. Tyr's Hand, Hearthglen, that kind of stuff too. That's actually a really good point too. Yeah, they've had a lot of that stuff in WoW as well. You can make areas programmed to scale up with player count and everything. And that's the thing, right? Is that making things scale with the amount of people in it is going to be a big challenge of this game, because I think that's one of the biggest issues that like WoW Classic has, is that so much of the content just ends up getting zerged down. And like having scaling in different ways with like more mobs and other stuff like that, I think is definitely a massive improvement.
If
Hi,
we want
Savix.
to,
I think we've shown this one before.
have we shown this one? Well, let's go through again and just kind of show off the size of the dungeon. Let's fly this time, because I think
Oh, okay, cool.
previously
Alright.
we kind of ran
Oh,
through
look
it.
at this pretty bear. I don't want to kill this bear though.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks too cool.
Okay.
No, let's not kill it. I don't. That's,
Kill
it
him, it's
seems
an
like he's just
enchanted
having a
bear.
nice time. Oh wait.
That's
Oh,
unhealthy.
no.
Oh, there you go. Fuck him, dude.
I'm a
could kill
conscientious
people.
objector to this. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna sit here and
Just
watch.
watch.
Oh, there's a lot of herbs
That's all right.
and stuff over here.
I would like to
So,
see the
you know,
numbers
in-
be a little
Yeah,
bit more
let's pick 'em.
readable.
As you go out and gather, right, there's going to be
For me, it's
obviously
hard to read 'em.
various tiers of gatherables that are out in the world. And, you know, you're going to have the more common ones that are
Mm-hmm.
acting as kind of base gatherables, base resources that kind of
Mm-hmm.
support a tiered structure as you process things upwards. And then you're going to have more rare ones. And these are all kind of like one-off gatherables that you're kind of seeing here, but there are large vein resources essentially, which you know, have multiple applications of the gathering process. So like you may have a large mine
Okay.
of iron, you know, ore, and it can attract
Okay.
a lot of people over time to come and deplete it first, and then once it gets depleted, it'll spawn elsewhere.
All right.
I think this
Makes
is
sense.
like dungeon area.
As far
So
as
is
the
this
tools
is
go,
the
will
oh
people be
yeah,
able
we
to,
did
like,
see this
customize
dungeon
their
before.
tools and have, like, cool
I'm pretty
different
sure at
looking
least.
Yeah, so tools are going to exist in a similar fashion to the tiered resources that it's applicable towards. You can't really customize a particular tool,
Okay.
you know, to look different. However, based
That-
off
that
of the
makes
quality
sense.
of your tool
Who
making,
gives a shit?
You're going to be able to have more uses out of these tools. Now, tools will
makes sense.
have to be
Yeah, it makes sense.
continually replaced as you are using the tools to.
What do you guys think about the inventory? Like, to me, I think that's fine. Like, I don't know. I'd like to see, like, being scalable. You can make the screen bigger or smaller. But, like, I too small? Yeah, that's fine. I think the baseline, though, of it is okay. Inventory will change most likely. Yeah, like, a lot of interface things will probably change on the way to release. That's kind of what I would expect, too.
to gather resources,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have to replace them, obviously. All right, yeah, let's we definitely can't kill the content in there, but let's fly through.
Okay.
Maybe.
This one's not a flying mount.
So he's
Really?
using his
Yeah,
flying
I don't think
it is
moth
not.
raccoon.
The one that's in our inventories.
That's weird.
So I wonder, like, how
Are you
powerful
Are you
those
guys
mobs are.
GMs?
Yep.
I think so, yeah, because we...
This dungeon, like,
Yep.
like going inside of it, whenever he turns around, I'll pause it.
That's super weird. That you guys can't fly. Maybe you don't have the royal status on.
clipped our wings.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't think you guys have the royal
Looks
status
good.
for
Yeah, I
some
think that
reason.
actually does look good.
Rude.
That's weird.
Is that a really dumb mount? Yeah. Some people might
Yeah.
think that.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's fine.
I think
I'm gonna
it's
fly through.
interesting.
You guys can try to like run maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
So like just the dungeon itself, it almost looks like it's got like the same aesthetic as BRD, right? Because it's like this fucking I don't know, like I don't know, like an underground city or something like that with these monsters. That's cool.
Who can live?
Hit
Butterfly
C,
is
Maggie,
weeb.
hit
Yeah,
C.
butterflies are not weeb shit, dude.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Z should
not-
work.
right.
There you go. Okay, perfect. Toast must have made you a
Z and X
royal.
is up and down.
So that you
just
can
to
just
kind of
fly
like give
through
you
the
guys an
dungeon.
idea of the
Holy shit.
this this dungeon and give you
Wow.
guys context for the size literally of like the world around you.
This is a
right?
pretty big area.
I mean, this is a pretty
God
massive,
damn.
sprawling dungeon, and this is one of the first.
I wonder how
like,
long
level
it'll take to
10
do
area
this.
Dungeons that you can go through. The world is intending to be, massive,
Yeah.
really big, and because of that, a lot of the corresponding like points of interest and stuff, we want to reflect that size.
So this is like you can go different
that
directions
size in
too?
the environments that you're seeing, the
That's
dungeons
cool.
that you're fighting in. You see here it's pretty standard. Multiple rooms that are kind of present.
Right.
Different hunting areas
What are
that,
those
that
noises?
players can group in and stuff, and there is
Those
going to be
fucking
that
noise-
dynamic
the-
where
That's actually a really good point. The lighting is really good. I've noticed this whenever he's going through the dungeon. The lighting does look really, really good. It's very
that's a
well
good
done.
point. Yeah.
And like all those little things do matter a lot because like whenever you're in the dungeon, if it feels good to be there, you're gonna enjoy it a bit more. Like the feel of a dungeon and like the graphics of the dungeon, it's like not even in like probably the top 5 of the important things about a dungeon, but it's important and it does matter. Like it does matter. It just makes it better.
rooms are going to be contested because some rooms are better than others, and that's just how the dungeon works, right? I think that
And I know you've answered
This
this
is
before, but
huge.
I'm sure folks who are kind of new.
He's
are
gone
gonna
through like
ask,
7 rooms so
When
far.
it comes to contested,
Holy
how does that,
shit.
work exactly?
well, essentially,
God
like let's
damn.
say you're in your
Yo, can you
guild
jump
and,
into lava?
you're in your party and you roll up on.
I wonder.
Like let's say me and Jeff were in our little party and we see you
Mm-hmm.
and you and Sarah here with your group, and you have a room that has the best maybe farm rate or whatever.
You ain't winning it. Toast and I gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Not
lot of
lockdown.
fucking shit
We
in
got
here.
this.
Well, what
This
we
is
would do
crazy.
is we'd roll up and we'd politely say, hey,
Level
how
10
you
dungeon?
doing?
Yeah, this actually looks
how long
good.
You guys, whoops. I accidentally pulled up my.
I wish they could like scale
NVIDIA.
themselves up to fight like the last boss.
We would say, hey, you guys doing? How long are you gonna be here for? And if you're just like, it's our room, you'll never have it. then we might
Holy
have to throw
shit,
down
it's
some
still
fisticuffs
going.
And maybe declare like a guild war or
Oh
flag
my
hunting
God.
or something that might.
To me, one thing that's super important about these different areas is to have like badass massive bosses.
Yes.
Like fucking you go down to the very like if this dungeon doesn't end in some kind of massive fucking monstrosity, dude, that's what you're looking for. That's what you're waiting for, man. That's what it's about, man. Contested dungeons, fuck off. They could be fucked, okay? Like definitely they could be fucked. Like in BDO there was a bunch of drama over different farming spots and like there was like this one cavern that you would go to, we'd fight these cultists and like each different guild had like one room that they'd go to. Was super fucking obnoxious, and then they'd flag and kill you if you tried to go into their room. It was really, really bad. So yeah, I mean obviously you're gonna have problems like this, but it depends on like kind of the way that the social systems reward or punish people for engaging in PvP, and I think that's kind of the way that I look at it. And problems, well, yeah, it's kind of a problem, right? Whenever you have people that it's like Classic WoW, I think is a case study on how open world PvP and open world MMOs can be a huge problem. I think Classic WoW is the best example of that I can give.
Contest your ease of gameplay within that room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it would work, I would say.
Yeah, this
those
could
are
be
some of
bad.
my favorite experiences I had, like in Lineage.
Hate open
and
world
other,
dungeons. Yeah, I worry about that.
PvX games where PvE is very important, but
Okay.
that PvE has a.
Not all dungeons
gosh
are
darn
open
it.
world. Yeah, I agree.
I keep trying to fly with my mount and pulling up my NVIDIA control screen.
Yeah, like the lighting is so fucking good. Like just that. Oh,
here,
never
let me
mind.
Jump down here.
Okay.
Ah.
Ooh,
But yeah, that's
it's really good. They have like the
that's
birds
just
making
kind of the
noises.
Dungeon. Give you guys little.
I
Holy
meant more so
shit.
like the contestedness of like.
Yeah, this
when you're
dungeon's
tagging
fucking
mobs.
massive,
That's
man.
what
Oh, I see. Got
Jesus.
it.
I get that part though. I've had plenty of games.
Yeah,
where
let's see the
you find
dragons.
your little place and you like farming for item drops and things of that sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really fun.
For like tagging mobs and stuff, there is a
Yeah.
there is a loot condition.
If there's not drama, there's probably no player communication in general. Well, I think that it's better. So basically, the way that I look at it is that if you go and you start making up a bunch of like kind of like positives to this kind of stuff, like usually these social interactions become bad, and like the conflict and stuff like that, it sounds like a good idea theoretically. It's like, oh yeah, players get the conflict, you know, they fight over this thing, it's social and it's fun, but like the reality of it is it's actually just like really degenerate and not fun, and usually it's like really one-sided where you don't even have a chance to compete against the people that are controlling it, and you just end up getting fucked. So conflict creates memorable moments. I don't know, man. Like phase 2 for WoW was a memorable moment for a lot of people, and they quit the game. Like conflict does not equal positivity. Conflict is not a universally positive thing. So it's not like this is a guaranteed good thing or not. I think it just depends on like how the community evolves and what happens, and that's the most important thing. Right down to later, yeah. Talking like a PvE player. Well, yeah, but here's the problem is that I think most people want to be PvE players. You're going to have some people that want to PvP all the time, but most people probably don't play the game that way. That's at least like my experience in MMOs.
That's determined by DPS done. So if it comes down to like two groups that are trying to, you know, fight in the same area, it's really going to be an act of like seeing who's going to give the most damage output, I would say. Now, obviously, when you tag a creature,
that tags first, right?
Yeah, they get a little bonus, right? They get a little bit of bonus on that front, and that's for like the looting rights. The experience of a monster will be divided to the groups based off of their percentage of damage done. So
oh wow!
if you do 50% of the damage, regardless of
how does that work with
rights,
healers or support
component, regardless of the looting rights.
Yeah,
the damage
I'm confused
done
about
will be
that.
equitable in percentage split of experience. So if it's 10,000 experience to kill a monster, and you do 40% of the damage with your group will get 4,000 experience. That's divisible by the group members. So,
okay.
Yeah, just give you guys a little heads up. So hope you guys.
I'm just sitting here looking at the water and admiring how it reflects.
Yeah, I feel like
these
these types of engines do a really good job on like water and lighting and like trees and grass and stuff like that. They always look really good in these kinds of engines. These games always look really good in that way. The problem is whenever it turns into what do you call it? Whenever it turns into other stuff, right? Like the combat itself.
It looks gorgeous in here.
By the razor.
Yeah, I do see. I see that in the little ground area.
Mm-hmm. And the little water spot here.
Let's let me see. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me
Oh, you can get on a horse even in here? What the fuck? That's awesome.
Here and get, let's go back to that little.
That makes sense. I like that. I hate how you
love
can't.
The lava stuff.
Yo, jump in.
You remember when the
Ooh,
lava
heat
was
waves.
gone?
Yeah. Damn, yo, that shit hits for a lot. That was like a quarter of his health.
Sprint.
Fuck, dude.
We had a bug where all the lava turned into like water or something like that. It looks so weird.
I like the way
yeah, it was
the riding
definitely
thing. I
crazy.
think
I'm
that's
just gonna
cool.
Run through this dungeon, run back, just give you guys the ground view of the size.
Yeah.
That's here.
This is pretty big.
What are some of the favorite dungeons
Okay.
you guys have ever played in when you played in your MMOs?
It's not Shadowlands. Yeah, this is Shadowlands.
Too
now.
many.
They've changed a lot.
I really like.
I'll go for it. Test.
I like the
Look at this.
Curzon series and WoW, just like Return to Curzon or Upper Curzon, just because there's such weird layouts and funky things. where you,
Yeah.
like drop through portals and
It's
sizes
smart.
change.
Very smart.
Yeah.
I think my most memorable ones are
Karazhan's a
probably
great place.
like Ashran's Call and EverQuest, because
I never really
it's
played
so
those.
dangerous to get into the good farming spots, so it takes a while.
I thought Karazhan was actually a really good dungeon. Even the new one was really good.
Once you get in there, like just holding it is, intense.
Like everybody gets a hard on for like, oh, the old one was better for, X, Y, or Z. But I actually think that the old version or the new version of Karazhan was genuinely really well done. I liked it a lot. It was great.
Yeah.
I think to me, I love those dungeon crawls where it's like you don't want to die because getting back there is horrible.
Absolutely. I
Not
remember
that
in
it's horrible, but it's just an intense, adventure.
Oh, these guys are jumping around. Look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them jumping.
Oh yeah, I wonder what that's.
Yeah, this is pretty
probably
cool.
ZX's issue.
Yeah. My favorite dungeons, probably I would say Antheros' Lair in Lineage 2, the heart
yeah.
area. I had some long grinding sessions. Grinding sessions in that area.
I mean, this dungeon's fucking massive, man. And the thing is that at the very end of it, I just want to see more bosses. I think that's one of the main things that like makes MMOs kind of special, is to have like those roaming like large threats in the game that matter in a way that you see them and it's like, fuck, there's no way I can solo this guy. Or like there's a YouTube video of one guy soloing it and everybody that plays the game watches it. It's like that kind of stuff makes the world seem like it's bigger than just you, because you need to have other people to help you overcome things. And it's like not just a trash mobs or whatever, it's just actual like, you know, super serious, like large scale monsters. I think that's really cool. I want to see big dick bosses. Yeah, I definitely do. Massive equals meaningless and empty? Yeah, right, dude. That's the main thing. Hard part's probably going to be the other groups inside. Yeah, I mean, like player conflict being the difficulty is, and it doesn't even have to be like super hard. It just has to look really cool. I think that's the main thing. It's like be really cool and be really big.
Lineage was a grinding game.
That's the main thing to me, at least.
If you had a good group in that heart, you were making the best experience possible. But you know, you would always have groups run in and try to PK you or try to take that spot, and it was just fun to PvP too.
Lineage 2 kind of gave me a lot of similar vibes to my old EQ grinds as well.
Fuck EverQuest, man. Fuck EverQuest. I never liked that game.
That I used to
Everybody always tried to get me into it. I just could never do it, man.
In Lineage was the Force.
What's the blue thing? The fuck is that?
But if you were like a hero, you could port down into the Force Sepulchre area, so you didn't have to like go through the.
It's more like grim and brutal stuff too. Yeah.
To get there.
I mean, the game's really big, so you'll probably have that too.
I was a little bit of a griefer because I would go down there and we would always be at war with this one guild, and I would. Oh, you're gonna die. And I would try to attack their team as one person.
I like how he just says it as a matter of fact. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna die."
So I would just like jump in.
Toast got me. I'm just pulling one.
No.
Oh,
he reset.
You leashed it back.
Yeah.
Steven's a bird.
So what happens if you go into that blue thing?
Yeah, I don't know about it. Look at how many bears there are here.
Yeah, I want to see this.
That's only one out to us.
What the fuck is this?
Let's see if we can run in this area.
Yo, this place is cool. Oh, is it a portal?
Another thing that's cool is like the world bosses.
What the?
That's bright. The world bosses.
Oh, is this where the dragon was at?
You know, epic boss rooms. I love that too, and like playing with the environmental hazards and stuff. That's possible.
Yeah, that's where they fought the dragon.
That reminds me. I didn't really. Think DDO had dungeons where it was like this, you know, epic thing where you had to like crawl through it and hold on to it or anything like that. But
that's actually cool. The loading was really fast. Yeah, that's awesome. I like this a lot. Why are you on those bears and dinosaurs? You drink around city? Well, probably because they haven't added the other stuff, right? I mean, that's like beta and like, you know, it's like later on down the road, man. I think this is good. Actual WoW killer incoming. Listen, I think that it's always a dumb idea to think that any game is going to be a WoW killer. The only WoW killer is WoW. Okay, WoW will kill itself. There's no other game that's going to kill it. If it just keeps chugging along, people are going to keep playing it because they like it. That's really always what it's going to be.
Mechanics as far as like traps and stuff like that that I think was really cool. And puzzles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping puzzles?
I do love jumping
Maggie,
puzzles.
do you love jumping puzzles?
Not I hate. You know I hate jumping puzzles. I'm so.
We need round two.
No.
I actually like that kind of shit. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, because I've always really enjoyed platformers. Like, one of the games that I played that I actually liked was Cuphead, and I like being able to jump and just like do other stupid shit like that. And sometimes it can be like kind of nerve-wracking or annoying, but just like things like in Throne of Thunder where you had to jump to the different platforms and like using your abilities to, jumping screens. Guild Wars 2? Well, yeah, and I thought that was really cool. Like, I watched my friend Austin do it. There was like a thing where he had to jump from like these floating rocks, and he sucked so bad at the game. And I never played the game before. I'm like, Austin, just fucking get up and let me do it for you. Like, you just have to jump from this rock to that rock. And there's like 3 rocks. There's like one here, and one there. and you have to go 1, 2, 3. But Austin kept doing 1, 3, and he just kept fucking dying. And I'm like, man, you can't do that. And finally, it took him like 20 minutes to figure it out. Like, I used to love... No, not Mr. Shell.
Asmon,
go ahead.
You, of all people, should not be talking about how to jump around things, okay?
What do you
Mr.
mean?
Demon Hunter.
Look,
we all saw how you played your Demon Hunter.
Here's the thing, is because they didn't let me out of my cage. They didn't let me out of my cage. If they had let me roam free...
I'm getting nervous. My fingers are shaking, man.
I get nervous. That's right. I get anxiety, and I can't do it, right? But, like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, what I like just fundamentally. Like, yeah, sometimes that'll happen to me. I can't stop it. But, like, whenever that's not happening, I'm doing the hops, I'm doing the jumps, and I'm doing them right. Like, I never mess up those jumps. Think about the time I got to the, I was the first person to get up on top of that mountain.
You were Vengeance.
Yep.
You were tank spec, and you were just leaping up to wherever the green thing showed you could jump up to.
Yep, and I did that
That's
right.
different. Oh, my God.
Yep. Think about that.
Yeah.
And you were second
Where's
best.
our dragon
Where's
friend?
the
The
jumping
guy's
puzzle?
fuck as a
Oh, you gotta
GM.
be dismounted.
There's a GM that got up there before me.
Oh, there you
Oh,
Dragon.
shit.
Aha!
That's a big boy, huh?
It's waiting for us to go through, I think.
That's a big old big boy.
But yeah, all right, we're gonna see you
Does
back
the
on stream.
lava
Hope you
doesn't
guys
hit you?
enjoyed a little
Okay.
look inside the game right now. I know. It's
So you
been a
go
while
all the
since
way
we
through
showed
the
some footage.
dungeon, and at the bottom of it is a dragon. That's
But,
awesome.
Little talk on
Fuck yeah.
Gathering. We'll talk a little bit more on stream, and we'll see you guys soon.
So the first thing that you're seeing here is actually our blink ability, and we're also going to show the blink impact. We've been doing a lot of particle effect changes, and I'll let Jeff kind
Yeah,
of
this does
talk
look pretty
about
good.
the design behind that.
Yeah, so I don't know, people who may be familiar with Unreal know that Unreal moved a little while ago from Cascade as a particle system solution to Niagara. And Niagara is a really cool, really smart way of building particles. So we've been kind of transitioning that. Our RFX guy, Jim Sanders, who is just amazing.
I think like particles and like the spells looking cool is really important. It's like one of those things that, like, you don't really think about a whole lot, but to me, I think it does matter just so it looks badass in the game. Like, that kind of stuff does make a big difference.
What he does has been playing with it and trying to integrate it into our pipelines. And we're pretty much set to go there. So all of our new effects will be authored in Niagara. We're also combining that with Houdini. So we're doing some cool stuff there too to get some really neat effects.
And just to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, go for it.
No, I was just going to say, just to give people context for this particular skill you're seeing effects for, this is one of the mage's kind of fundamental mobility skills, their teleport option. And just so you guys are aware, the way kind of we work with skills is you have skill points that you can allocate into active skills based off of your base archetype, right?
Okay.
And as you allocate skill points into those skills, you can give additional skill points to unlock additional features for that skill per se. So the initial active skill of teleport may only teleport you forward. But what you're seeing, I think from this perspective, it looks like he's teleporting backwards. That would be an additional feature that would be unlocked by allocating more skill points, which makes the teleport omnidirectional. So as you're essentially looking within
I think that's cool.
As you're essentially keystroking in a particular direction and you activate the skill, your teleport ability will teleport you, maintaining your direction in that area.
And
also, if you're wondering about the background here,
it's like the mage glyph.
Yeah, exactly. Where like you can teleport in like the direction that you're facing or whatever. I think that's cool. It's literally just blink. Well, it is. Like, I mean, like, I'm sorry to say this, but WoW is not the first game that's had blink. Okay, maybe they called it teleport in EverQuest or something like that. But this is like, WoW is just the ones that's using it right now. Like, all of these games have just taken from each other. There's no, like, there are a few, like, unique things that WoW has in terms of, like, fantasy abilities, but the majority of them existed outside of WoW, and they're just different abilities from Dungeons and Dragons, from, you know, like, lore from Lord of the Rings, and, you know, all kinds of other fantasy tropes that have come together to make WoW. It's not like Blink and Mortal Strike and, you know, a hunter with a pet. Like, these are not ideas that were invented by World of Warcraft or even by Warcraft 3. These are things that have existed for a very long time.
is one of we call this our zoo level, and it's basically got all of the mobs populated here in sections according to level, so that we can jump in really easily and kind of tune things.
Yeah, it's kind of like their dev build area, so they can just do testing and stuff like that. Because people are like, bird person, what's that?
It's GMI one.
And of course he's clicking on the ability because he's kind of showing you like the, what do you call it?
The tooltip.
The tooltip, yeah. There we go. So I'll show
That's
the impact of Blink as well next.
Okay, here we go.
So this is upon...
How does this work?
This is like a closer up view of it, so that's kind of the thing that's playing off of your mesh when you do that.
That's cool.
Obviously, this is not a real character; it's just a fake character.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
And when Jim's setting up,
what do you guys
ability,
think about that?
He uses these pawns so that it's a really quick iterative process. You don't want to necessarily worry about all the functionality and making it work with
that's cool.
first when you're first setting up those particle effects. So yeah.
Yeah, and the great thing about Unreal Engine, especially with their newest update to Niagara, is really the front end, the graphical fidelity that Unreal Engine offers is so beautiful. And it's great when you have a very capable and talented artist like Jim who can really take advantage of those systems and just pump out really great looking art. So kudos, Jim.
Yeah.
Right, and then switching
I think the animation looks pretty good. Okay. I feel like the numbers are a little bit hard to read. It's like kind of hard for me to see, like it said 160 and like maybe it would be better whenever you're actually playing the game, but it does seem like it's kind of hard to read.
Yeah, so the Gift of Magi is absolutely. This is a skill, I believe, that the mage archetype has, which allows the mage essentially to grant a portion of their mana to a friendly character.
That's cool.
So you're seeing, here this
cool.
This updated effects for that skill. And
the
one
big
of
part
the
here is sort of the dynamic lighting that is happening on that effect. So that's kind of what he's trying to show off here, and then some of the volumetric fog.
Yeah,
but the way
I
that
think
it
this
lights
is
up
cool.
kind of the whole area and is not just baked into it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say one of the directions that I've given Jim with regards to kind of the style of these effects is I'm a huge fan of volumetric fog elements incorporated into special effects for the characters and certain skills, and I really love the way that Jim implemented this. This fog appearance as well as that lighting just to illuminate even further the depth of that gaseous element.
It does look pretty good.
I think it's a really cool component of magic and arcane art from an immersion standpoint.
Yeah.
What do you like it? You like the way it looks? What does the chat think?
I mean, there is a certain point where it gets like too flashy.
Yeah.
Like some of the Final Fantasy shit is like too flashy.
Where they just
but for right now, this looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
it's fucking
it's just
insane.
Ridiculous. You know what I mean?
It's like every single fucking attack is like it's like an outburst.
Yeah.
It looks boring though. I feel like this is an issue that I think it's like probably the best combat in Diablo 3. I feel like it feels better than Path of Exile. It feels more visceral and more it feels like you're more in control and like you feel the damage that you do more, and I think that's one of the main key advantages that Diablo 3 has over Path of Exile, and probably also the only advantage. But I think that like just feeling that like visceral feel of like your character doing damage or casting a spell or like fucking popping off in one way or another, like feeling that bullshit, okay, well that's fine. This is just my opinion. But like basically, I think making things feel like that is really important to having good combat, and I think good combat is really important to having a good MMO.
Oh, you know what a good example of that is? Well, for you, it would be the old Whirlwind animation into the new one.
Yeah.
And it made it a lot better. And then for Paladins, the Final Verdict animation was like really... Ooh, it was like juicy, bro. It was like... Oh, God. They're bringing it back, too.
Let me see if I can actually find that. Old Whirlwind animation. Wow. Let me see if I can find this real quick. It's got to be a short one, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can find more one. So let me just show you kind of what I mean. Let's see here. This is Rampage, right?
Different specs that I'm going to be using as examples. So
okay.
we've got Fury Warrior, Outlaw Rogue, Retribution Paladin,
like they
and
changed
of course,
this a lot.
Frost Death Knight. The point of this video
here's
is to show you the
Whirlwind.
improvement in...
So this is kind of like the improvement that I'm talking about. This is how like the abilities start to feel a lot better. So watch this. That's the old Whirlwind. Look at that. That's way fucking cooler. That is just 1,000 fucking times cooler than the original one. I'm sorry, it just looks fucking way better, okay? So like changing and making the animations feel like, I think visceral is the best word that I can use for it, but making them feel like more complete and more fluid is super important in making the game feel good.
He's working on a lot of cool like fog and things of that sort that is really neat. The question that I had that was from chat was actually in regards to graphics and like different settings and what those particle effects will look like. I don't know if you all want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so as we enter into phases of optimization and as we're developing these types of effects, we're taking into consideration that players will have a scalability setting that they can tune, which is appropriate for their rig or hardware that they're running. That kind of lessens the load on the client in order to render these types of effects.
You need this.
These numbers of polys on the character, or
it's like super
essentially just having scalability options. So one of those in relation to the effects is players can scale that down so it's not as intensive on their rig.
All right. I'm going to switch over to the prismatic beam next.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. All right, what's the new one? Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Jeff,
so is this like Archon Beam?
So this is Prismatic Beam. This is one of those channeled skills. So it does more damage the longer you hold it down. It kind of roots you into place, but is a really high damage, high risk, high reward kind of ability.
That's badass.
The effect here is really neat. Beams are not super easy to do. But the kind of flowy...
I wonder if you can change the direction of the beam, right? You're like shooting here and then you go to like here or there. Like, I wonder if it's like just fixed in place or not.
Almost feel of
it's actually really cool.
Ability. I think Jim captured really well. It feels like a nice, awesome, powerful laser. It gets even better when you see some of the animations that are behind that. You really get a sense of like, oh, this is a very powerful thing. That's kind of...
This does look cool.
Feel and flow is really important to us always. And this really captures kind of that, like, you are channeling some serious magic.
You can, but it's very slow. That makes sense. You have to aim with your mouse. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And you want to talk a little bit, maybe about the difference between the tab targeting skills that we saw just previously, and how this one works from a line effect.
This is like an action.
Yeah, so we kind of split the difference between the different kinds of abilities that we have. We want to give people a lot of different opportunities to play the game the way they want to.
Okay.
So we have some abilities that are tab targets, some abilities that are dynamic, and then some abilities that are like purely action based. This is kind of falls into that latter category where this beam is going to go wherever you are.
It's the beam of 5G.
So you need to be on target.
Oh shit! Wait, so if the beam of 5G, the longer it's on somebody, the more it kills them.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. I see what they're trying to tell us. Damn, dude, I never even realized that. What the fuck? So I do think that obviously like balancing action abilities versus tab targeting abilities is going to be kind of hard because I think generally tab targeting abilities are just simply easier to use. So it'll be hard to balance the difficulty of like using them with like just not just making action abilities simply better. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Otherwise you could miss. It's not really related to the accuracy of your character's stats. It's more the accuracy of your mouse. So, we want to make sure that you get opportunities to kind of, play that risk-reward game based on.
It seems like it'll be really good in like a dungeon.
And is this effect an area of effect, or does it stop impact on impact and deals damage to that initial target and doesn't go past it?
That's a good question.
Right now, I think it does both. As you scale it up, I think the first stage of it stops at whoever you target, and then the final stage passes through and hits everything.
Oh,
nice. So that's more about that. Injecting additional skill points into individual skills to unlock additional features for it. So the initial one would stop on a collision impact, and then later stage would go through. That's cool.
Correct.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good idea, man. So like each different spell is gonna make it do a little bit different stuff. It's like an I-beam. It's like imagine putting like lifts in it, or I don't know, like leveling it up with your artifact weapon or something like that, or like having a legendary that makes it better. This is really cool. Like, yeah, or runes for Diablo.
Obviously, with a lot of
I like that ability.
We may change and alter abilities, so
that's cool.
So our next one is our level up effect. Now, this is kind of a really important thing with games, because I think they can be really iconic and memorable. So do note that this is still in stages, so keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah. We will note that.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh,
yeah, so I mean, one of the cool abilities that we all love seeing, and it gives us a major dopamine response, is when our character levels up, especially when you're higher level. This is the first iteration on the level up effects. One of the things I loved, about
it looks, it's like he's activating his Azurite necklace or something like that with the blue shit coming out of him too. That's actually good. I think it can be much more flashy though. Like, with like some fucking bullshit coming out of it, maybe like a fireworks or like a bomb or something. Like, yeah, it'd be cool.
When I leveled in Lineage 2, was it had this like god ray comes down over your character and expands, and little leaves, like little golden light leaves, fall out of the sky, and
god damn,
it's this cool event.
Like
so we wanted to try to hit that a little bit. There's going to be further iterations, but this is the first pass, and I really like the direction Jim's going.
Okay. Yeah, one thing Jim does really good is like the radiance effect. Like he uses colors in really interesting ways. And I love what he's able to bring out in some of these effects. Cool. They're not just simple unicolor kind of things. There's the full spectrum of the rainbow in this effect.
Yeah.
All right.
We did talk about using Phoenix Wings for this, so.
Phoenix Wings.
I think we had
really
that
cool.
in.
Oh, that actually would be cool. Yeah, the wings just like come out.
Like little wings.
That'd be badass.
Of you whenever you. Oh, that'd be cool.
I like this.
But yeah, we still are obviously going through that. There will be sound effects and things of that sort as well that will be hopefully iconic to you all. That is our goal. So when you level up, you're like, yeah, that's awesome. So without further ado, I kind of want to preface things before we move into the next thing, which is going to be our 17-minute long video. We want to talk a little bit about gathering and harvesting, and obviously we'll talk a little bit about it after.
Collecting
and I'll grab
rocks.
some questions from chat, so definitely toss your questions in. We'll also have
collecting rocks,
responding to some of the ones that we've already answered before. So I guess Steven, if you want to kind of preface this before we switch over.
just to contextualize the video, when did we record this? Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
God, the days are just they're all blurring together. Okay. Contextualizing this is basically, we wanted to show off two things. One, the very early stages of gathering, and really the way it works, and we're going to go into a little bit more depth afterwards. The gathering is one branch of the artisanship tree. There's three primary branches: gathering, processing, and crafting. And those are.
I actually like gathering. I like the idea of going out into the forest or going into a mine, and you get the rocks out of the mine. That's my favorite. I know other people, they like the processing and all of that kind of stuff. For me, dude, like I love that kind of shit, man. Like you go in there and you just literally collect rocks. It feels good.
Meant to have interdependencies within one another. But essentially what we show today is there's tool prerequisites when it comes to accessing certain resources in the world as a gatherable. Gatherers will have the abilities to create their tools, but those tools will have only a certain number of usage before you need to recreate that tool. And essentially, as you become more proficient within the gathering branch of the artisanship tree,
so it's like
and
Minecraft.
your tool making becomes better, you begin to increase the amount of usages that are available. And then those the usages that are under the tool prerequisite will eventually come to the point where you'll have these master tool sets that'll grant you access to the highest possible gatherables in the world. And one other thing to note about gatherables is there's both a combination of, I guess there's three types of gatherables. There's the ones that a lot of us are used to, which is the single-use resource out in the world. You gather it, it goes away for a period of time, and then it comes back later or randomly spawns elsewhere in the region. The second is going to be these large static veins that exist, which will attract lots of people, and they'll have a finite number of gathering that's possible until that vein is depleted.
Yeah, it's like in WoW.
And then it will,
exactly
will go
like
out,
in WoW.
And respawn somewhere else in the world.
I think that's good.
And then the last type of gatherable is a mobile group gatherable kind of thing. So these are like herds of animals that might be out there in the world, and they may move a little bit. So it's like a moving resource, so to speak. Maybe exists on a spline and just kind of goes around the world. So you're only going to see in this video the very basic type of gathering mechanic, which is that first type that you can gather. And then additionally, we did receive a lot of questions about the size of the world, and one thing that I personally love about
that's what I'm curious
MMO
about. Like, I don't know,
is having this grand, magnificent type of architecture that exists.
Yeah, I want to have like a really big world, especially if it's a big server with a lot of people on it. Like, having that super huge world is just cool. The only issue, obviously, is if you don't have fast travel, it's like really hard to get anywhere. So that's definitely a problem. It's like a balance between the two.
So we ran you through one of the dungeons, but I did it with Margaret and Sarah. By the way, this is Margaret, Sarah, myself.
To be more realistic.
I did it at flying above the dungeon so that you can just get an understanding of the scope. I know you had seen likely this dungeon in previous 4K video, but it was on foot. So I really wanted to show off, being up in the air and just kind of seeing this grand size dungeon.
I'm going to skip ahead to the art stuff. Yeah, it's right here.
We have shown some of the
that looks
waterfalls
good
in the past, but I'll let Steven
the waterfalls look awesome.
Yeah, I think just part of the process that goes into
what do you guys think about this?
Iteration over the art assets that enter the game. We had some old waterfalls that didn't necessarily live up to snuff and how the world was progressing, so Jim took a pass on those, and as you can see, not only do the effects look great, but the updated water shader also,
that actually does look pretty good. What do you guys think about that? I think that looks good. Overall, it looks pretty fucking decent, I would say. I'm a fan. Looks like a modded Skyrim. Yeah, almost. Something like
that.
I
These will
can
continue
see that.
to go through iterations as we get closer to launch. But as you can see already in this pre-alpha state, I think this looks great. They look very natural. They look very immersive in the world. And
it's also great because they're way more performant than the old ones were, like way more, and they look about as much better.
Actually good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good too.
It's always great when you gain on the performance side and on the visual side. You're like, oh wait, that's not supposed to be the case, but yay, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks wonderful. People are saying this is their yoga spot.
Yeah,
we got some
nice.
yogis out there. I like it. And our
like
next
the bear?
one is going to be the seaside environment assets that Mia
Okay,
made.
let's see this.
I love the.
So pretty.
I love when
These seem pretty much like what you'd expect to see.
I never have time to review the assets prior.
Yeah, this is exactly
and so
what you'd
this is
expect
all
to
just
see.
Like, oh, okay, yes.
This is nice.
You probably see it when you're running around in the world, but like you don't realize like all the
Yeah, Mia is a wonderful artist. She is so talented and experienced, and you can just see the detail and
it's not like amazing or like super cool. It's just like that's what you'd expect to see under the water.
Tender love and care that goes into creating these environment assets. Really to make the world look like a beautiful place. I mean, it's immersion such an important component in our gameplay experience, and part of that immersive quality comes down to the sheer talent that goes into our amazing artists creating this world. So yeah, these look, I love these.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think that does look pretty cool.
The next set of assets we have here are the Junior Node buildings that Ricky
made.
This
too?
Yeah, Ricky Ho, one of our concept artists, as he begins to kind of.
Is this like a dwarven bunker almost? I think that looks pretty cool too. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, I like it, man. Yeah, what do you guys think? That's good. Overall, I do kind of like a lot of these models here, man. It looks insane. Yeah, it looks nice.
Diversify the selection of architecture for the junior race and all the other races working with our talented concept team.
Yeah.
They provide these production ready concept pieces in order for the production artists, the 3D modelers on the environment side, to really stick to this architectural design in creating these assets. So part of Alpha 1, excuse me, part of
the
Alpha
wiki has
1
tons of images. I'll have to look at that.
Moving forward into the different testing phases, because the nodes adopt the predominant.
Let me just. I'm just gonna click
that...
through a lot of these pictures, and we can just take a look and see what they are. So there's this one here, that one right there. What do you guys think about that one? I think that looks awesome. Yeah, I don't know, McConnell. What do you think? That is pretty true. Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think about these different things?
I think the dwarven bunker thing looked badass.
Yeah, I like this one, and I also like the I like this one too. Like all of these different like little city areas, kind of, I think look awesome. Like these are the kinds of things, like I don't know what the scale of them is, and like if you can actually go inside of them, and then there's like a stairway, probably a spiraled stairway in the middle, and you go up to the top. Like that would be really fucking cool, and I just want to see more things like that in the game. Okay, here's some swimming.
Transition from the above camera shader to the below camera shader. Any type of screen effect that will be applied later, like water kind of drying up or something. But as you can see, this is some fundamental swimming. You will be able to utilize your abilities while in the water. There is going to be naval content that will require
use your abilities in the water?
Large groups of people participating in water combat, as well as ship-to-ship type combat. So we're now just starting to flesh out essentially the buoyancy and physics of the ocean, as well as giving the character animation blueprint the ability to transition from the land state to a water state that utilizes
that's what
these
I'm excited
animations,
to see
which
the
our
most,
animation
man.
team has taken a first pass on. I think
dude.
They're doing good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And like we said, this is early pass, so bear with us. These aren't final. This isn't final or anything like that, and we will have some other adjustments to it as well.
Poggers, WoW
But
Killer.
if you have suggestions and stuff like that, you're always welcome to head on over to our forums.
Guys.
We love reading all of that. Toast is amazing and puts together reports.
Okay, let's see the next thing. This is a goblin. It's like I don't like how it has like a beer belly with a six-pack. Like, what is that? He's like a fucking power lifter or something, and those forearms, man.
I mean, look, dude.
Are these like? Is this like the race of like Coomer goblins? Holy shit! Go ahead.
Hey, in my opinion, nothing can look worse than the updated goblins in WoW.
I don't think they're that bad, man. I think they're all right. All right. Yeah, these look pretty cool. Okay, let's see the next one here. What about this one? This seems pretty basic. I mean, it's a grayscale, so it's nothing to get too excited over, but it does look okay. And what about this here? Oh, this is like a pair of armor, I guess, for the gloves with a rune on it. I like that. That does look cool. Okay, what about this here? Is this like the attack? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this?
Yeah, so this is just some pretty simple effects on the attack animations that you're seeing, which, give it a little bit.
Watch the glove. Okay, I'll watch the glove.
It would be the July 2018
Doesn't really do a whole
to
lot.
August 2018. Thank you,
you
Violet
go.
Lights, for sending that
Yeah, it's not
my
really
way.
doing anything. Oh, here's like here's a rhino.
Jinsey, someday I'll get you on the stream.
Oh shit.
Yay.
I think it's so huge.
It's massive, yeah.
That's
that'd
fucking
be an
badass.
epic
scale next to it,
dude.
but
That'd be a mount, you mean?
That would be an epic mount.
Oh, dude, man. Imagine like you use that motherfucker and he can just like knock down doors. For like a castle siege, you just like fucking ride him right in there. He has like a charge ability or something. That'd be fucking cool.
This dude's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like elephant size was it, right? Was the goal? Or maybe a little bit smaller.
Let's see. I'll skip ahead. They're showing it in game. Wow. That actually looks
just
really
imagine
cool.
being in the game and you just hear this like
That's
thundering
massive.
movement over like a hill, and you just turn.
That thing comes at
and
you.
then this thing
Little bit of
breaks
screen
the horizon.
That's a
and
fucking
just,
big
like,
boy
this
right
dude
there.
is charging
That
you,
is
and
a
you're just
big
like,
boy.
Huh. What do you do
Look
here?
at that,
I
man.
run, or I
That
like.
happened to us
Look
in a
at that
Pathfinder
shit,
game one time.
dude.
Kevin was DMing, and there was a herd of, I believe it was
see.
bison.
I'm gonna go with the next
and
one.
we were like,
The, not the
Oh,
animations
wow.
of them, but the.
It's a little sheepy.
sorry, he did the model.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who did
That's
these animations.
cool.
It might be Myers, I believe.
I think the arms, though.
There it is
Oh,
Oh, but there he is
wow.
with his caravan.
Like that actually, I mean, for pre-alpha, that's really good fucking design. Like straight up, like that's really fucking good design. I know, it's popular to hate on things, etc. But this looks really good.
I mean, compare that to the picture I did on Discord.
Okay. Where is it again?
On Discord?
Okay, give me a second. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay. Let's see here. On Discord, I'm trying to find it. Scrolling up. I've got a million fucking servers and messages. Yeah. I mean, this was pre-alpha for WoW. That right there is pre-alpha for WoW. And like back then, like that, it could be better. Like, let's just say that. It could be better.
Yeah, so this is a Dunir
15 years ago,
caravan.
though.
You can see
You're
by
right.
the bulkiness and the armor plating on the
I know
spokes
that.
and the wheels. And this is in game.
The point that I was trying to make is the progress and like the growth of quality from like release to that. I'm not comparing it to WoW.
The different types of caravans that you can own essentially as you commission them will take the appearance of the cosmetic you have applied.
There's a stupid comparison.
And then our next.
I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain this.
Okay.
So this right here is pre-alpha footage of World of Warcraft. The game objectively looks like dog shit. By the time that the game actually made it to release, the game was much better than this state. So the logic that I am using is not that WoW sucks and this game is good. It's the improvement from the pre-alpha footage of World of Warcraft versus the release footage of World of Warcraft showed substantial improvements. So whenever you compare the pre-alpha footage of Ashes of Creation, you can hopefully project that the actual release footage of Ashes of Creation will be good or better than the pre-alpha footage. Is that hard to understand?
This one is going to be our lovely spider.
Okay. The spider?
First,
that's really good. That's
spider,
good.
So you can see the entire model of it.
That's good.
This is an enemy NPC that's going to be, obviously arachnids are a fan favorite when it comes to fantasy games,
dude.
And this is one of the initial spider creatures that are used.
Yeah.
There's several variants. Jincy modeled these.
I like these, man. These are awesome.
And, they're
Thank
going
you,
to
Jincy,
have...
for making the translucent one.
Yeah,
That
these
was
look
like,
really good.
Please make a translucent one. She's like, I'll try.
Well,
yeah, so these are just some examples of the different spiderlings, and they'll vary in size.
Oh shit!
Well, I thought it's
so they do like an attack like that? It's just like the one they have in WoW too.
Spitting out like acid and stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't go towards them.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Also the music. I never thought about that. The music for the game.
This is not,
like WoW's music is really good.
Completely done. They're just showing the attack animations and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Sure. Let's see.
Okay,
Okay, it looks like that's about all the footage. Mcconnell, now that you've seen the thing, what do you think about it?
I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, that didn't really do much for me. Like, I'm more interested in, like, it looks cool. The game looks cool.
Right,
I want to
yeah.
know how it's gonna play. Like, how is my high sword character gonna play in the game? Like, am I gonna be good? Am I gonna be like a ret paladin, or is it gonna be like a weird thing? You know what I mean? But that's what it's called, by the way. When you combine a fighter primary with a cleric secondary, it's called a high sword for whatever reason.
The high sword? Okay. All right. Well, like maybe he's like a high lord with a sword, so he's a high sword.
Oh, you know what? Maybe he twists trees with swords.
Maybe he doesn't.